Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report, because without you guys, well, Friday nights would definitely be a lot different, and my wife would probably be a lot happier because I wouldn't be down here talking to you guys. I'd be spending more time with her, but that's okay because she understands it's getting close to football season. A little over 2 weeks from tonight, 2 weeks and 2 days, we will finally get it on with the New York Giants. And I got to tell you, I am so ready for that game. I'm ready to run through a brick wall for our Dallas Cowboys. Now, speaking of the New York Giants, before I get into all the topics, let me say hello to everybody. Thank you guys for jumping in. The Giants. It's amazing that after I put up that video yesterday with facts, mind you, I didn't just go ahead and say Giants suck, Eagles suck, Redskins suck. I gave you reasons why they suck. Now, mind you, I'm not satisfied that the Cowboys have a 45-35 record. Best record in the NFC East by far over the last 5 years. I'm not satisfied that they've got 2 division crowns in the last 5 years. I'm not satisfied that they've got the best offensive line in the division, as well as the best young quarterback. He's no longer a rookie. I'm not satisfied with that stuff. What I'm talking about wanting is I want a ring. And if you Giants fans are satisfied for the fact that you got to beat us twice last year, if that made your season good, well, I got to tell you, you suck as well. Your expectations are nothing. Because unless you win the Super Bowl, you didn't do jack crap. Flat out. I'm putting it out there. I'll get to Odell. My son Michael is back home, and he's talking about Odell. Yes, Odell is in Arizona getting laser work done on his foot. Well, we'll see at the moment. But you know what? I bet you Odell will try and pull a TO, and we'll be out there. I won't say that he won't be there. We'll wait and see. They may be trying to do the good old bait and switch, trying to get the Cowboys to say, oh, he's not going to be there. Let's relax. No, you count on that guy being there. Because quite frankly, with what I've seen in preseason thus far, because Brandon Marshall, too, still haven't heard much report on that shoulder of Brandon Marshall, where he alligator armed. You guys are counting on those two. You take those two guys away, all you got is Sterling Shepard. And I'm not sure Sterling Shepard with Eli Manning is going to be a winning combination without an offensive line and without a running game. To me, that spells disaster. I know you Giants are the sexy pick that everybody thinks that you're going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I'm sorry. I just don't see it. And thinking about offensive lines, I remember not too long ago some people talking about the Philadelphia Eagles line may be better than the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Do y'all remember people saying that? Do you? Because I know I heard some Eagle fans out there. I heard some of the talking heads that were talking about how good that offensive line is going to be. Well, did you notice that last night that Carson Wentz got pulled after the first quarter because he was getting knocked on his ass? That's right. They kept knocking him all over the place. They kept pressuring him from every which way. Now, don't get me wrong. Carson Wentz made some really nice pass plays. But if that offensive line doesn't block better than that, Carson Wentz ain't going to make it through the season. And Napoleon Dynamite, Nick Foles, he's been kind of injured this preseason. So you guys got some real issues, as well as covering the deep pass. So before I go on to our Cowboys, let me give some shout-outs and hellos to all you guys that have already joined in. I know you guys are excited as I am because every week now we got football to talk about. And we got the Raider game tomorrow night. So I can't wait. I know you guys can't wait. And it's going to be great. SpongeBob. I didn't know we had SpongeBob. Where's the SquarePants, my man? Ricardo, Sandman, Byron, Tyrone the One, Story Landing, Christian Rob, Crep the Hood. Okay. Cowboys Abroad. So Cowboys Abroad, where are you at, my man? Don't Get Rocked. Toy Story Collector. Harry. The Big D. Albert. John Ortega. Fernando. Daniel. Oh, y'all's trash. Daniel, you're like clockwork. You, Cruising, Chlorine Bleach, you guys are like diehard Dallas fans, man. I don't understand. I mean, I'll go over and check out EDP from time to time because EDP is trashing your line and stuff and everything else. But I don't literally live on it. I mean, I know every time I post a video, Daniel, I see you here, man. I hope you're a subscriber because you give me just as much support as my Dallas Cowboy fans. And you know what? I love the hate. So keep bringing it. Francisco, Bill B, Jalen Smith. Jalen, how many plays you going to play this week? You look pretty good. You got still a ways to go, but it looks like you're going to be on the active roster come the Giant game in 2 weeks. Lewis, Sandman, how you doing tonight, Sandman? Brad, Robert, Game Changer, Sergio, Ryan, Robert, geez, Roy, Juicebox, wow, Kurt, Boamorphous for life, okay, Money Mood, yeah, go on, Asia, wow, we got all kinds of people. Vito One, there's Sarah. How you doing tonight, Sarah? You're always here like clockwork. Thanks for joining me, of course. Jordan F, Tin Man, Corey Snap Johnson. How about them Cowboys? Ryan, is Switzerland beats playing this week? It's Ryan Switzerland. Ryan Switzer. God, sorry, I fell out on the couch a couple hours ago and just woke back up. My son just moved the camera there. Ryan Switzer practiced this week, and we should see his debut tomorrow night. So hopefully we'll get him out there, and hopefully they say he's looking like he's got his quickness back from where it was before he pulled the hamstring. So it'll be nice to see him out there. It's going to also be nice to see Cooper playing with the number 2s. I got to tell you, man, Kelvin Moore, man, he's been a disappointment here this year. And speaking of disappointments, sometimes in football, you can have the best team, best players, and things like that. You can even draft the best players. But sometimes it's not enough just to get that player. It's to get that player and get them in the right system and have everything kind of fall in place. I don't know that Tom Brady would be Tom Brady if he had went to Cleveland. I mean, let's be honest with you. Bill Belichick and that system there in New England was the perfect storm with Tom Brady. Dak Prescott, today is the 1-year anniversary of Tony Romo career basically ending. It was 1 year ago tonight that Cliff Averill, after 4 plays, sacked Tony Romo. 3 plays. Sacked Tony Romo, breaking the bone in his back. And I always like to play the what-if game. Because in life, every moment of the day, we are faced with things that if you do one thing, your life might be totally different. I've told you guys before that I got accepted to JMU and Virginia Tech. And basically I took the envelopes and threw them up the air, and the one I caught was JMU. So the question is had I caught Virginia Tech, would I have met my first wife, and would my kids be the same? That little change could have changed the whole situation. Thank God that Kelvin Moore got hurt early in training camp. Because what if Tony Romo just broke his back, and now Kelvin Moore, who's been getting all the second reps, is now the starting quarterback going into the season? Dak Prescott is not getting the reps that he had because Kelvin Moore got hurt. Would Dak Prescott be the quarterback he is now? That's an interesting question, isn't it? So by him being able to get behind Tony Romo having a day off every week, he was able to get valuable minutes to play and get up to speed before the season started. That's one of those things that we got lucky that Kelvin Moore got hurt when he did. We got lucky that Tony Romo got hurt when he did because we still had a couple of weeks, 2 weeks to coach him up to get ready for that first game. Had Tony Romo gotten hurt in the first game and then Calvin Moore took over, I don't think we would see the same Dak Prescott we have right now. So sometimes shit happens that looks bad, but ends up being a blessing in disguise. And don't get it wrong, okay? Shallow Hal, don't send me your hate mail. I'm not hating on Tony Romo. I'm not happy that he got hurt. I would have loved to see Tony Romo win a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys. However, football always keeps rolling on. Doesn't matter who's out there. Just keeps on going. And it's a young man games. So it is what it is. But I look at this team right now, and the reason I use the last 5 years as a comparison, when I compared us to the rest of the division, this team has transformed from being an over-the-hill, overpaid, over-the-cap team to being a young team, a faster team, a hungry team. There's no divas on this team. The fact that Dez Bryant is bought into Dak Prescott tells you everything you need to know. Dez Bryant, of course, was always, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Now Dez Bryant, after Dak said, I'll throw Dez the ball when he's open. That set the tone. It set the tone last year in camp. Went on a route. Dez Bryant didn't do what Dak had told him to do or what he was supposed to do. And Dak lit into him and said, man, you're supposed to do da-da-da-da-da because this is what's going to happen when you do. And when you don't do it, it fucks up the play. And instead of Dez Bryant saying, rookie, what the fuck? You know who I am? Excuse my language. He said, okay. When you have a veteran like him fall in line with Dak Prescott, that tells you all you need to know. When you have a guy like Jason Witten, a sure vote to be Hall of Fame, regardless of what guys like Jason Whitlock say, when he realizes that Dak is the leader of the team, even though Tony Romo's his best friend, that tells you all you need to know about that guy. Forget about everybody talking about that sophomore slump. That's not going to happen. D&D, remember, D&D, Dak and Dez. It's going to be a killer combination. I've been saying that all off season, and you see that back shoulder fade that they did. I broke that play down. Unfortunately, of course, the NFL, I wish I could use more clips, but unfortunately, whenever you use clips, they're getting shut down or they're taking the monetization, you're getting strikes. As much as I'd like to be able to live stream, because I know a lot of you guys can't see the game and stuff, you just can't do it. You live stream something, you get a strike, and you get 3 strikes, you're losing your channel. 2 strikes, you can't live stream anymore. So I have to be real careful about clips that I use. But I had to use that clip because it showed you everything you need to know about where this team is having that offseason work. Dak Prescott has gotten the look off down pat. And by that, subtly what happens is the safeties are reading the quarterback. They're looking and figuring out where is he going with the ball. And wherever he's going and leading with his eyes is where I'm going because that's going to lead me to the ball with most quarterbacks. But on that touchdown pass to Dez Bryant, from the time the ball is snapped, his eyes are focused over here, then in the middle, and then as he's going back to throw, that's when his eyes finally go to Dez, which is too late now for the safety to get over to double up on him. If you can get that down pat and hit the guy pinpoint like you did, back shoulder fade, you got that all day. The Dallas Cowboys have too many weapons to cover. And even without Zeke Elliott, everybody said Zeke Elliott is the only reason why the team won. No, he was a part of it. But guys, everybody that's there's Jackie. How you doing tonight, Jackie? All those that are saying that the Cowboys are doomed without Zeke Elliott. I say we got capable running backs in Alfred Morris as well as Darren McFadden. Take a look at the Redskins. Do they have a great running game? No. Take a look at the Giants. Do they have a great running game? I don't hear them saying that those guys are doomed because they don't have a great running back like Zeke Elliott. Do you? Why is it that the Dallas Cowboys have to have a super running game and nobody else does? Because they don't believe in Dak Prescott. They don't believe that this guy from Mississippi State is as good as he really is. Yeah, well, we're about to find out, because what I do know is this. We had a good running game in 2015. And what did that get us? Without a quarterback, not a damn thing. Well, Jackie, I hope you're not getting part of that hurricane. And everybody who is in Texas, anywhere close to the hurricane, please be safe out there, because we want you here on the Joe Boo Sports Report. But more importantly, we want you here for your family and friends and all that. So be safe. Prayers go out to Texas. The eye of the storm is supposed to be hitting around 1 o'clock tonight. Hopefully it's not as bad as what they're thinking it's going to be. But I've been down in New Orleans after Katrina, doing rebuilding and stuff, and seeing some devastation there, as well as another project down in Florida. And a hurricane ain't no joke. So prayers and thoughts are out to all you guys. Byron, I watched some of that game last night, and Carson Wentz, he was getting the crap beat out of him. I mean, they were literally letting dudes free. And, I mean, I know Miami's got some good pass rushers, and they're a good team. But they got to do better than that, or he's not going to be upright. Chris Bollinger, over or under on Dak's. Okay.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about that, Cowboys?
Thank you very much, Ricky Lee, on that super chat. All proceeds, of course, go to helping support the Joe Boo Sports Report. We're going to be doing some great tailgates of some of the games and things. I agree with you 100%, where the team has gone from, like you said, prima donnas to guys that want to work. Here's the thing that I feel great about for this season is I want NFL players to get paid. Don't get me wrong. Football is brutal. I still have some scars and stuff. I never played in the pros, but I know my back is screwed up, and my knees are screwed up, and Lord knows I had more concussions than I could probably shake a stick at, and that's half the reason why I'm messing up with the music on some of these videos or can't pronounce you guys' names and stuff, because football's tough. But I wouldn't trade a single hit for my back being right. It's something about football that just is addictive. But this team has gone from a lot of people who are paid a whole lot of money, because Jerry Jones overpaid some guys. Marion Barber got that fat contract. Miles Austin after one good year. DeMarcus Ware, he was worth his money, but he was still getting a whole lot of money. We were well over the salary cap. But the problem is I hate to keep quoting Redskins, but Doc Walker, 980, Sports Talk 980, I love the guy, because he'll tell it like it is. When the Redskins suck, he's going to tell you the Redskins suck. But he is key on this thing. It's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator is full. So when these guys get these big fat contracts, I'm getting $15 million a year. I know I'm going to be a starter. I don't have to work hard in camp. I just have to show up. I'm already on the team. But you get a guy who hasn't been paid, a guy who wants to get some playing time and is looking to get paid, they're going to go a whole lot harder than the guy that's already got that big fat contract. Take a look at a guy like Jason Hatcher. Jason Hatcher basically averaged 3 sacks a season until his contract year. He had 11 sacks. That's right, 11. Average 3, contract year 11. Went to Washington and got paid and went back to his about 3 average. That's a lot of the guys that we have right now on this team. Guys that are fighting for spots down the road and looking for that contract. A guy like DeMarcus Lawrence, who his rookie year was injured. Second year was real good. 8 sacks, I believe. And then last year he was injured. Well, that rookie contract is coming up. And so with the writing being on the wall that we're looking to get young, you got Collins, you got Taco, you got Tapper in there. All of a sudden it's like, if I don't play well, I'm going to be looking for a new team. I may not get that big contract on the free agent market. So look for DeMarcus Lawrence to be balling out this year. Look for Tyrone Crawford. Same situation. He's got $10 million this year, and that's not all his contract. Part of that is because we had to use his contract as a piggy bank and end up taking some money off of it. So we're having to pay for that. But that's another guy that has been injured every year, problems with the shoulder and stuff, that if he doesn't play real well, he won't be here. So you got guys that are hungry to succeed. That's what you want. Guys that are fighting for their football lives. They're going to play tooth and nails to make sure they stay and keep a job. And that's what we have, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, as far as David Irving, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet. Law Nation literally gave me a heart attack, and I was almost in a car accident yesterday. So, no, Mike, we already got that settled out. It was actually just a mix-up and just something he just needed to actually get on schedule to see a counselor. But when Law Nation sent me a text, and he was like, David Irving is going to be suspended more games. And I'm like, what the hell? Oh, Lord, tell me this is right. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that whole situation and everything else. And he tweeted at Mike Fisher. And generally speaking, when you hear stuff from Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport and some of these guys, it's not always credible. I mean, we heard that Kirk Cousins was getting traded to the 49ers and Tony Romo was going to go to the Redskins, yada, yada, yada. That's the kind of crap that you'll hear sometimes from some of those talking heads. But generally speaking, Mike Fisher has the real deal. And Mike Fisher saw the tweet and said no, talked to Irving and said no, it was just kind of like a thought out loud and so on, just his frustration and stuff. So that's all good. Then we had the Dez Bryant and Jamel Hill Twitter battle. See, all this goes back to Kaepernick. And a lot of you guys misunderstood what I said yesterday. I didn't say that Kaepernick is toxic. I said talking about Kaepernick is toxic because it's a no-win situation no matter what you do. Unfortunately, him standing up for what he believes in, he's been condemned. And basically the battle lines are drawn that either if you're with him, you're an asshole. If you're not with him, you're an asshole. Because there's two sides on here that are battling and nobody will listen to the other or try and understand. So talking about it, if I take a side one way or the other, believe me, some of you are going to say, F you. And unfortunately, that's where we've become in this country. You can't have a conversation. We can't sit down and say, hey, look, this is my point of view, and I listen to yours, and maybe we come up with an understanding or maybe even an agreement to make things better. Because Colin Kaepernick isn't trying to trash the country or the flag. He's trying to make it a better, even better country. And I know people will say, I'm getting into this and I don't want to, will say that that's not the place and the way to do it. Well, here's the thing. When is the time that people will listen? When is the time that we'll get people's attention? Melina, you're back. I suggest, I don't understand why you're saying what you're saying. Um, this is a place to discuss about football. It's not a place to come up with a whole bunch of BS or things like that. Um, and things. We're here to have real discussions, and I hope that you'll abide by that. Chaz Green. What about Chaz Green? Yeah, good. Change the subject because I don't want people to get pissed off at me. Chaz Green. The word Chaz Green is guy who's always had a lot of size and potential, but can't stay healthy. He ended up having cramps during practice this week. They're monitoring him. They sent him in. He had an IV and things like that. But the problem with Chaz Green is he just can't stay healthy. And for whatever reason, there's just some guys that just can't stay healthy. And unfortunately, I think that's, oh, wow. Thank you, Alan. I definitely forgot that. But I think he's just one of those guys that just can't stay healthy. And Looney, he's got the perfect name. You got to love him in the Zeke Elliott outfit. I forgot Joe Boo's refill. Let me read some of you guys' comments in here before I get on to some other topics. Lots of rain down there. Well, hopefully it's just a lot of rain and not a whole lot of wind damage and stuff, because they're talking about people being without power for, a couple of weeks and things. If I ignore trolls, they'll go away. Yeah, but they always come back again. Sarah. Well, Matt, yeah, it would be great if it got reduced to 4 games. But I got to be honest with you, because what they're doing to me isn't right. They are the judge, jury, and executioner for Zeke Elliott. Here it is. Now, he's been tried and convicted without being able to put any evidence forward. Seriously, that's what they're doing. They've gone through, they've done their investigation, because that would be like the police department going through, doing investigations, saying, okay, you're guilty. You're going to jail. There's no court hearing. You don't have a chance to do anything, because that's what the NFL is doing. They're the police department and the court system without him having a trial. To me, it sounds like they've already got him convicted, and this is just for formality of him going up there to New York. Because you took a witness, didn't put her under oath. You're believing everything that she said without her being under oath. And you're not allowing him to cross-examine her or confront the witness's statements. And you're not even allowing the notes from the interviews to even be used. So basically, you're just taking their defense completely away from them. You can't do that in a court of law. It's a flat-out kangaroo court. Now, my hope is that the NFL says, okay, we want this to go away. We want you to take the punishment and just get this over with. We don't want this to be long and drawn out. So we'll be nice guys and we'll drop off 2 games, or we'll drop off 3 games for you. Just take that, be happy, watch your step, and we're cool. That's what I'm hoping will happen. But even taking that without him even being charged with anything, there's nothing that can be proven in a court of law. Because if there was, the court system would. You best believe that a district attorney, if he knew he could get a case and convict Zeke Elliott, that's a career maker. So if there was something there, I guarantee you that prosecutor would be making a conviction and making a trial to make a name for himself. Because up there in Ohio, you don't get that many big cases. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Zeke will be in New York Monday and Tuesday. He's got those 2 days off to deal with the situation. And Well, Ricky Lee, you're right. That would be like him admitting to it. But at some point, here's the problem. He can take it to court. He can do like Tom Brady did. But Tom Brady eventually just said, what's the point of fighting? I'm still going to lose. Still got the suspension on there. So at some point, you got to go ahead and cut bait. You got to say, okay, enough is enough. But I can guarantee you one thing. The team will circle the wagons. And when he comes back, I guarantee you he's going to be on a tear. And as much as you Giants trolls out there like Daniel and cruising and don't get rocked, think that losing Zeke, that the team is going to go down the toilet? No. You may hope that happens. This team is going to be okay. That offensive line and Dak Prescott and Dez and Cole Beasley and Jason Witten and Terrence Williams and Ryan Switzer and Rico Gathers. They'll be all right. Holy Ways, he looked like a top 10 quarterback. Yeah, he looked like a top 10 quarterback on his ass. That offensive line, he's not going to hold up this season, buddy. And the way your defense couldn't cover, are you kidding me? Your defense got burnt by Jay Cutler, who had retired, who's only been in camp for a couple of weeks, dude. Really? You're pounding your chest? You better hope you don't stay in the basement, my man. Oh, I forgot. You played the Redskins the first game of the week. So you got a chance. Because I believe it's going to be you two battling out for the basement. That's probably the toilet bowl game to see which one of you is going to get flushed this season. Okay, we won't go there, Boomer. If Wentz looked like a top, no, I'd say Dak would be a top 2 if Wentz looked as a top 10. Zeke and Jerry make you drink. Yeah, well, Joe Boo makes me drink as well. He already talked about a statement. Well, Redskins will finish last. Well, the Redskins are always dysfunctional. I've actually wanted to do a video about the Redskins and how I became a Dallas Cowboy fan when I was in D.C. today. Just didn't have enough time before traffic got heavy. I was going to go over to the old stadium back when the Redskins were good. Ruben Foster instead of Taco. Well, I'm going to tell you. It's another video that I wanted to do. Taco is going to be good. Taco is going to be really good, and I'm going to tell you why he's going to be very good. When I first started looking at him before the draft, one of the reasons why I said that, I think he'd be great for the Cowboys is his first step is really, really fast. And when I looked at the Ram games, the pictures I took in video, it's been a long week. When I looked at pictures of him, he is the first guy off the ball. And that first step, he is across the line like that. Now, he's still hesitating in his mind because he's still learning what the plays and the assignments.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Thank you, Meet Dan Nitz. Appreciate the super chat there. But he's got the speed, he has the size, he has the strength, and now it's just putting it together with some time. And I'm going to tell you, he's fast. He can get around that edge. He's just got to be able to work on getting that separation with that arm, that punch of keeping that offensive lineman off of him. But he can blow past him. It's a matter of getting that punch and keeping his feet going around on the outside edge. But you're going to be seeing him doing like DeMarcus Ware, getting around that corner and swatting the ball down and forcing turnovers. I am high on that guy, and I'm excited about that guy. And as I was saying, that DeMarcus Lawrence has actually been quiet. Nobody's been talking about him much. Everybody's been talking about how's Tapper been looking, how's Taco looking, and all that. But DeMarcus Lawrence has been looking fantastic this offseason. I look for him to actually do really, really well. Stephen Paya looks like he may end up being a starter and stuff on our defensive line. He's another guy who I think fits our system much better than he did in Washington because, he was in a 3-4 in Washington and Cleveland, and we know the Redskins are a dumpster fire. It seems like every defensive lineman that goes to Washington for whatever reason fails. You don't ever see a lineman go to Washington who's had a productive season replicate it in D.C. And then going from there to Cleveland, you can't even count those years that he had between those two. So look for him to do really well this year. And I do believe that our defense is going to be playing a lot better than a lot of these experts out there are saying. They keep talking about the guys we lost, that number 1 draft pick, Morris Claiborne, and Brandon Carr. They've lost so many on the defense. Man, that's bullcrap. Because this defense, you watch, is going to get turnovers a lot better than they did the last 2 years. And if they can do that, along with get up to about 40 sacks, we got an opportunity to make them run all the way. This camera angle is much better. Well, only problem with this camera angle is I'm looking over here, and it's harder to look at the responses from you guys. And this is a closer shot of me as well, which isn't always a good thing because high def is not for everybody. You can see my crow's feet and all the scruff on my face and everything else because it ain't pretty. Well, here's the good thing at least. Come next week, we have all the cut downs. You're going to have some good guys that are out there, and I think Rush will probably move up. Moore may be cut, and probably we'll be looking for maybe another veteran to bring and put on the list. Steven, you need to ask me something. What do you need to ask me, Steve? Rum high def. Okay. Tomorrow's going to be good. McCown is rated 69 in Madden, and Moore is okay. It's 67 for quarterbacks. Okay. That's all good, but what are they going to do as far as being out on the field? I need to make a video on my JMU days. Oh, man. Okay, that's a real easy one. Just see me passed out on the floor drunk. Explain to me how we're going to stop your offense? Are you kidding me, Holy Ways? Come on, man. Come on, man. Holy Way. Dude. All you got to do is get some pressure on it because it looks like that's going to be the easy thing is put some pressure on you, man. That's the only thing Cowboys abroad that is bothering me is that our rookies, that a lot of them are still nicked up with hamstrings. Yeah, I don't know why today I'm just like really out of it. Actually, work wasn't that hard this week. It's just been, I don't know. I think cumulatively between the last month and a half, I've been doing a whole lot of work stuff, the trip to California and everything else. I think it finally hit me like today. Now, Shinobi is not playing tomorrow. Awuzie is not playing tomorrow as far as I know. Oh, of course, Steve, if they go to court, it'll be a trial. Well, no, actually, it may not be. If they go to court, it's possible that she gets called in because they can go through and say that it was unfair treatment, blah, 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 blah. And it's possible. I can't guarantee that one. Really, PX13. I didn't realize the Redskins that the Eagles haven't beaten the Redskins since 2014. Damn, Eagles. Damn. You've been losing to the Redskins? The Washington Redskins every damn. You guys just don't need to talk. Cowboys go undefeated. I'm not going to go there with that one. With you on that one, Dustin. That's a little too far. Does the commissioner piss off Joe Boo? Well, you understand. Commissioner is trying to do his job. Commissioner is not about necessarily the players as he is for the league and league image. The NFL has gotten a lot of flack because of the Ray Rice situation. They're getting a lot of flack about concussions and things like that. So they want to give the appearance of doing the right thing. And unfortunately, Zeke Elliott is the one to try to make an example from, just like they did with Tom Brady. If you go to some little peon that nobody knows and you cut him, it just looks like you're doing that just because he's a nobody. But if you get somebody of Zeke Elliott's caliber, then you can say that nobody is above the NFL law. And it's not only about Zeke. A lot of this is about Jerry Jones. With Jerry Jones out there saying that he's looked at the evidence and he doesn't see anything there, it's kind of like you're discrediting the NFL. And Jerry Jones is making other deals and stuff. There's the Las Vegas deal, which a lot of NFL owners didn't want to happen. They'll take the money for the Raiders going there and everything, but they didn't want that one to happen. And again, it's another one that Jerry Jones is leading. So this is more than just about Zeke Elliott. It's also about the collective bargaining agreement that's going to be happening in 2021 and the coming lockout and/or strike. So it's not just Zeke Elliott. This is a whole lot of things that are behind it. But this is just the first shot in that war. Sports 360. Wow, you've been here since 400? You've been here a long time. Shout out to you, buddy. We own the Giants, but the Cowboys struggle versus them. Interesting. Well, I'll be honest with you, Holy Ways. I believe we're 6-4 against you guys over the last 5 years. I will say, even when we didn't have Tony Romo in 2015, I believe we got a win right then against you guys. Fight night tomorrow. Who I got? Oh, man. Do we really have to talk about fighting? Do you guys really think Conor McGregor has a chance? Come on, man. Nah, he doesn't have a chance. Well, Simon, I'm hoping that you're right, that Zeke will sit out only 2 games. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see. But where the NFL has been on this one, they've got a hard on for taking Zeke out. That's their mission right now. Jordan Lewis, I believe, is practicing. I think he might actually play. I could be wrong with that one. Yeah, we did. We did beat the Eagles with Mark Sanchez. That is true. That's saying a lot. If you can beat him with Mark Sanchez, man, that's suckage. Yeah, I think I honestly think that Mayweather will win. And Conor McGregor being, he's not used to fighting long fights and stuff like that. I think that Mayweather can just outlast him. Say, man, Chip Kelly got rid of a lot of great talent with the Eagles, man. I mean, literally, my friends like Tommy Eagle, the moron, they were literally just like putting jerseys away because it was like every one of their Pro Bowl players they were getting rid of, and especially offensive linemen. It's like, man, dude, what are you doing? But he was so arrogant that he figured that it's my system. But you know what? Your system works when you got Pro Bowl players. When you've got guys that are nobodies, it's a little hard to make your system work. But hey, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. Where's Tommy Eagle? Tommy Eagle's actually dealing with some back issues. He had back surgery, but we'll have him here before the season's up. We can't say that one on here. Any coaches I see on the hot seat this season? I see Jason Garrett as one. I see the Giants coach is another one that could be on the hot seat if they end up failing really bad. I think the Eagles coach could possibly be on the hot seat if they end up failing, believe it or not. I could actually see the Redskins coach on the hot seat if they end up regressing. I don't know that anybody's job in the NFC East is safe with the NFL the way it is right now. Right. Okay. Bengals coach. Well, the thing with the Bengals coach is you got to understand the Bengals are cheap, and they'd rather keep Marvin Lewis because he at least wins more than what they used to win, and they don't want to go out and have to pay somebody else. Shout out for Michael. Okay. Shout out to I don't want to be seen Michael back there. Okay. Yeah, he's over playing Madden right now.
Let me ask you this question.
Michael's actually asking a question.
Rush or
Rush.
Cooper? Rush or Moore?
I was going to say, I was like, Rush or Cooper? Oh, come on. Are you going to ask the real question?
I'm at.
Calvin Moore will be no more in Dallas, okay? And that's the bottom line. I'm sorry. All I got to say is I hope Dak Prescott stays healthy.
You got a better chance with Moore.
Garrett's leads to okay. That's an interesting question, Christian. If Garrett leaves, do I believe that Martinelli and Lanahan go with him as well? I don't think so. Well, I tell you what, that's one of those ones that depends on who comes in. So you're getting another puppet coach. He's going to come in, and he's going to want to go ahead and do whatever Jerry Jones wants him to do, and Jerry Jones will want to keep those guys. Although, if it is John Gruden, I can see him keeping Rod Martinelli. But a strong-willed coach is going to want to bring in his guys in his system to employ because it may change up from what you're doing. So that's an interesting question, to say the least. Calling our coach names doesn't offend me. Okay. Doug Peterson reminds me of, okay. Okay. Mark changed his name to Calvin. Okay. How's the Madden, Michael? I'm debating. Is it worth it? Michael? He hasn't played it yet.
And it's only good like if you want the story mode.
Okay. He said it's only good if you want the story mode. Okay.
I mean, if you like seeing what's his name, Tom Brady on the cover too.
Well, let's hope the Madden curse is alive with Tom Brady.
Someone from the New York. Someone last year from what's his name, Rob from Dallas or whatever his name is from New England got on it and won a Super Bowl.
Do I think Dak and our superstars will want to sign with Dallas? Oh, of course. Dak Cowboys aren't going to let Dak Prescott go anywhere. And here it is. The Dallas Cowboys, think about the media that he's got. I mean, you guys seen the Tostitos commercial with Dak right now? I got to figure out how to get some of those bags of chips. Those Tostitos chips, I've got to get a case of them. Yeah, he's got that one too. But he's got the new one that's out where they're basically putting mojo on the chips, okay? Joe Boo needs some. I may have to hook up with one of you guys that are in Dallas to buy me some. I'll send you the check and everything else. Huh? Can I sue? Well, they didn't say mojo. I'm saying mojo, Michael. You know, Michael needs to pull up a chair and just get in here because I'm sitting there cross-talking and stuff, and you hear somebody talking and he's not actually here part of the conversation. I still think, Tin Man, I said this before, that there's a couple different types of coaches. You have some that build teams, and you have some that take teams to another level. John Gruden is a coach that can take a team to another level. You've got the basis of all the parts you need. He took a team built by Tony Dungy and won a Super Bowl. But when the team needed to be rebuilt, he couldn't do it, thus lost his job. You have a great scouting department that's putting talent on the field. You can't argue, and I challenge you, Giants and Eagle trolls, to tell me that you've got more talent over the last 5 years. You look at that offensive line that's been built. from basically over the hill guys. You look at the running backs. You look at the wide receivers. You look at some of these young players on defense. You are getting players. The fact that we did not win a playoff game with the best offensive line of football, the best running back, the rookie of the year, a good receiving core, and a defense that was top 6 in scoring defense. I'm sorry. You got all that and you couldn't win a playoff game. To me, that's a disaster. Flat out. And I go back to coaching on that one. You get somebody who takes that talent and gets the most out of them and doesn't make mistakes like spiking the ball and leaving time for Aaron Rodgers. Little calls are the difference in winning and losing. It just is. And unfortunately, we've had too many of these little calls that add up to losses. And the opportunities of having great seasons and being number one seeds are few and far between. You see teams with far less do a lot more than what our Dallas Cowboys have been doing. Now, if you've got talent on the field, where does the blame go? Where does the blame go? Dak Prescott had 3 touchdown passes against Green Bay. Zeke Elliott had 100 yards rushing. Yet, we couldn't beat a limping Green Bay Packers team. You can't tell me that Green Bay had more talent on the field that day. You can't tell me that they were physically the better team. I go back to coaching. I'm hoping that I'm wrong about Jason Garrett. I'm putting my support behind Jason Garrett because I want to see Jason Garrett get a ring. I want to see Jason Garrett get a ring, get our team to the Super Bowl, and I want to be looked at as the idiot that wanted to fire him. I'm hoping that happens. But if it doesn't, if this team fails again like we always do at the end of the year, I know Jerry Jones loves him, but you got to start looking at, does my love for him, is that bigger than a love of winning it all again? Oh, Tyrone, man. The Eagles win the Super Bowl when the NFL goes back to 10 teams. So you're saying they've got no chance, huh? Dak on GQ magazine. So what's the problem with that, Shallow Hal? Are you jealous? Camera 5 is going to camera 6. Got me? Okay. Director Mark Holmes is coming up, baby. Okay. I don't get that one, but all right. Yeah, well, Jerry, you're right. Jerry doesn't want to let Jason go, but at some point you got to realize this ain't working. And sometimes you need to make a change for change's sake. And we've been through the same thing over and over again. Now, I'm looking at it this way. Right now, you got all the parts. When you look around the NFL, I don't care what team you're talking about, everybody has a weakness. It's just the truth of the matter. You can't have Pro Bowl players that are in position. Nobody has that. You've got young talent. You have enough to win it all. Your offense should be a top 5 offense, even without Zeke Elliott. Man for man, if you go across the board and take the 11 guys that we have, I guarantee you're not going to find many, if any, that have more talent across the board. 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, a Pro Bowl tight end, Pro Bowl wide receiver, Pro Bowl quarterback, Pro Bowl running back. Who has more talent than that on their offense? That offense should be able to blow people away. Defense isn't quite as starstruck as the offense. But the defense is enough to win. They were top 5 in scoring defense. They didn't give up a lot of points. They gave us some yards. They didn't get a lot of turnovers. But fortunately, our offense didn't turn it over much either. But if you're top 5 in scoring defense, and you've got one of the top offenses, and you can't win a playoff game, come on now. Come on now.
No.
Well, Nation R, we have to be behind Jason Garrett.
Can't be Jason Garrett.
We're going to have to be behind him this season.
Can't be Jason Garrett.
Our defense is a question, but I think our defense actually improved. I think we're going to see, because the key to me on defense is pass rush. Wow. Jackie, it's almost 10 o'clock already. Jeez, time flies. Our defense is going to be better. We're going to have guys that are ball hawks, something we haven't had in a long time. We're going to get turnovers, and I think that's going to make all the difference in the world. Yeah, well, Sam, man, that whole thing of him, come on. You're talking about a tight end who's top 7 all time in pass receptions. Not of tight ends, of anybody. Well, Jason, finish the fight is dead. Now it's recommit. Good night, Sarah. It was great seeing you here, of course. Jackie. Yeah, the only problem, I've got to figure out what I'm going to do about the game tomorrow night because the NFL Network is not showing it live. It's the re-air at 11 o'clock. So I may have to go to a sports bar tomorrow night to watch the game. How can the Cowboys defense be improved? Our Dallas Cowboys defense is going to improve by getting turnovers, something that we didn't do in very many bunches last year. I agree with you, PX13. Rod Martinelli does get the most out of guys. And I think now that having Taco, having Stephen Paya, Collins, he's got some talent to work with. Melinda, is your whole thing just here to try and start crap? How about them wife beaters? Really? If that's all you're going to come in here to do, please just avoid coming in here. Curtis, you got tacos? I'll be there. Send me the address. VIB box. Okay. Collins, I think, is going to have think about what he did last year as a rookie. Think about what he's be able to do with another year behind him. Corey, you got it. Well, Holy Ways, Cowboys defense could be better, but we're relying on a whole bunch of young guys. But isn't that what we did last year with Zeke and with Dak Prescott? We relied on 2 rookies, as well as our offensive lines being really, really young. I'll take a young guy over somebody old and over the hill anytime. To me, it's better to get these guys in the fire now sooner than later. And to be honest with you, when you look at what New England does, New England gets these guys starting young. They blow up and they let them go elsewhere. Why? Because if they become really good and get paid as a free agent going elsewhere, you get a compensatory pick. And I know when you start talking about 4th round or 6th round compensatory picks, guess what? Dak Prescott was a compensatory pick that we got because we let DeMarco Murray go. Let that sink in for a second. If it weren't for DeMarco Murray signing with the Eagles, that big fat contract, Dak Prescott wouldn't be here. It's the small things that make a difference on a team. As I pointed out in a video yesterday, The trade for Bryce Butler, where we took a 5th-round pick and traded with the Raiders to get him, we ended up getting a 6th-round pick in return, which we used to get Anthony Brown. So for that 5th-round pick that we gave up, we got Bryce Butler and Anthony Brown. It's the little things that a team does that can make all the difference. The ones you don't think about. At the time, everybody thought it was going to be the end of the world letting DeMarco Murray go. Well, guess what? Dak is here because of it. And with that being said, it is 10 o'clock. Another show has come and gone. Tomorrow, we got our Dallas Cowboys on tap. I'm looking for the Cowboys to get some work in and hopefully stay healthy. That's all I care about. I saw as much as I needed from the offense last week. I don't want those guys to be in harm's way. I want them to go out, get some work in, and get out healthy. That's all I care about. Because this game is meaningless when you see a guy like Odell Beckham who might not be able to play in the first game, and you're seeing starting offensive linemen being lost for the season. I don't need any of that. I want my team to be there. Melinda, the next crazy comment that you do, I will ban you from the show because you're not even talking football. You're just talking trash just to be talking trash. And that's not what this channel is about. I've told you before, I won't put up with it. So as always, friends, even you, Eagle and Giant Trolls, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I will see you guys here soon. And thank you for the support. See you soon.